Hey guys, welcome to another recap of Survivor South Pacific. Alright, so the show opens up with Cochran and Ozzy hooking up on Redemption. Well, not really, but Cochran arrived, and basically Ozzy was like, dude, you don't stand a chance. That was kind of cocky. Kind of creepy of him to do that, but I guess it's all part of his strategy, I don't know. So back at Taytuna, Edna is hurt and left out, and I don't blame her because they're treating her basically like she's a robot. Maybe she is. I don't know. But Sprint Tree Mail arrives, and it's video letters from home on a 3D phone. Pretty cool. You know it's a cry fest. Everyone was crying their eyes out. Oh, my loved ones, it's been a whole month that I've seen you. So it's time for Redemption Duel. Ozzy versus Cochran. It's the matchup of the century. Not really, but it was the old grappling hook collecting bags of balls, and then the old tilt table maze. So Cochran, were you even trying at first? It was like your whole spirit was killed from the beginning. And then you started like making big moves and catching up, and it was so impressive. It was anybody's game at the end, and unfortunately Cochran was eliminated. So I really respect Cochran. I really think he's the best, even though Ozzy won. To me, Cochran won. So it's the loved ones' time to arrive. They all show up. And I was really pissed when I found out that Ozzy got to choose who got to spend time with their loved ones. First he chose Albert, and then he chose Coach, and then he freaking chose Brandon. Dumb. Alright. So Coach pulls Ozzy aside and basically proposes to him as a Christian man. This was the weirdest, creepiest ever. Coach is like not one of my favorites anymore. I'm sorry. Coach is no friend of mine. They makes a final deal for the final two with Ozzy. It should come as no surprise to anybody who's actually watched a show this season that Brandon is playing for Christ. But his dad's pissed because Christ wouldn't play like this. And he talks to Coach and starts playing the game for Brandon and basically makes a deal that Brandon should stay in the game. Or at least he thought he made a deal. Coach was like, yeah, we'll see what happens in the end, right, Coach? So it's immunity challenge time, and it's a giant pineapple puzzle. And it's the old flip over tiles and step on them, and when you're out of moves, you're out of the game. So Albert was out pretty quickly, followed by Brandon, who made a stupid remark to Edna. Can he not keep his mouth shut? He then ended up apologizing to her in front of everyone, and it was just ridiculous. The whole thing is so stupid. He should just put a muzzle on Brandon. He's ridiculous. So it came down in the end to Edna versus Coach. It really wasn't any matchup in the end. It was pretty obvious who was going to win because everybody was targeting Edna. She didn't have any more space. So Coach won. But meanwhile, back at camp, Brandon apologizes again. And Edna is pissed. She's not taking his apology. He's not sincere. So Edna makes a plea with Coach, Albert, and Sophie and is like, I thought this tribe was about honor and integrity. You should really get rid of Brandon. And it kind of almost seemed like they were on board. And then Edna privately asked Coach, would you play the idol for me? Is that a possibility? No. Alright, so I could see that because that could come to bite him in the butt again. But then Edna pulls aside Albert and Sophie and is talking about eating a piece of Coach's poop. I don't think she said poop though. But what's that got to do with tribal council? Weird. Alright, so it's tribal council time. And Edna, who should go home? Asked Mr. Probsty. Duh, Brandon. He's a jerk. So then Brandon apologizes again, even though he didn't actually know what he was apologizing for. God. And he admits that his feelings would be hurt if he was voted out on this tribal council. So, all I'm saying is Albert should come out with a skincare line. I know that was so random, but gosh, have you seen his skin? It's like amazingly perfect. What's he using out there? It's like he got cleaned up already, but he didn't. All right, so it's time for the vote, and Edna's voted off, and I've only got one thing to say about it. Coach is shit. That's all I could say about it. How can he like, oh, watch how they vote, blah, 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 Edna, you're the best. I voted for you. He's such a shit. I'm sorry, that's the only, I'm sorry for the bad language, but there's no other way to describe Coach. And I hope he does not win, because I think he is no dragon slayer. I think he is a 5-letter word for cat. All right, so next time, the tribe turns on itself. Yeah, you knew it was cannibalism time. And Edna, does she beat Ozzy? Or was that just a trick of the editing? Oh please beat Ozzy. It would be so sweet. It would be so amazing. Till next time, much love.